Oh, wow.
Oh, I can't do both legs in.
Yeah.
You're never gonna get your second leg in it.
Okay. Oh, wow. I don't fit in the seat.
Oh, it's perfect, dude. Perfect fit. You can't put the steering wheel on?
It no work.
Awesome. Yeah.
There you are.
Oh, okay.
Love it.
Kyle's first time getting in a car.
I'm just gonna drop the bomb right now, dude. How does it feel to, in my opinion, build the car of the show?
It's crazy.
Overwhelming.
Yeah, for sure.
For me, this is it. This is everything that I love about a build. It is wild, it is insane, it looks amazing, and you guys are actually going to use this thing.
Yeah. Had this car for 15 years and it's been through the drift missile stage, and the first time we went to SEMA, it was, show car, and now it's like, we just gotta get back to the roots.
What made you want to do this?
We had a customer that wanted equal length headers on an M120. So instead of pulling that motor in and out a bunch of times on his vehicle, we went ahead and bought one to mock those headers up. Once that project was done, the motor was sitting there, and one night we started unhooking up the old motor and things just trickled down from there.
This is, of course, the centerpiece. And this is kind of the thing that's blowing everyone's minds. There has been so many different engines swapped into FD-RX-7s. And part of it is because maybe people don't want to deal with the rotary, or also the fact that there is plenty of room to put a lot of other motors in it. Why this V12?
Well, like when I first had the car, it's been like I said, 15, 16 years, we did a turbo LS in it. And that was back when like Henson wasn't making the kits. The LSs weren't really being swapped in these cars like they are today. And same situation, we had the motor, had the car, we made it fit, made it work. And back then the original plan was a V10 swap it. And we said, oh, it's not gonna fit, too much work. So the turbo LS was great. It worked, 900, 1200 horse for years. And it's kind of like, where do you go from there? When we took the car to SEMA 5 years ago, it won the Super Street McGuire's Best in Show then too, which was amazing. But it's like, how do you top it, And it's like, it's just pretty much the next step. This is it.
So if you were to do a V10, what would it have been?
Viper.
Okay. Yeah. But there's plenty of 12-cylinder motors. Why this one?
Really just the noise. The Pagani Zonda is just, that's like the epitome, of piston rod motors in my opinion. So, we did the motor and quickly realized that there's really no aftermarket support. This motor came in the S600 and the SL600 Mercedes back in the day, and that $140,000 car that those guys aren't saying, oh, let's build them and do a bunch of stuff, put cams in them. So, the motor was never really developed besides what Pagani did with it. So, we basically developed a whole line of parts for the M120. We needed to swap it, we needed a harness, we needed accessories for it. Nobody made them, so we kind of developed them all. People see the swap and they think, yeah, it's a V12, it's cool, but like this motor in particular is really heavily developed.
Where did you actually get this motor?
So this motor came out of a junkyard in Miami. I said originally it was just a mock-up motor, so it really didn't matter. But yeah, we went through it and designed some rods for it. We got a long rod set up, piston, so it's high compression, 11/8 compression. Rod stroke ratio is 1:9.6, kind of sport bike territory. Saved a ton of weight off the bottom ends. And then the heads are really what's special. So nobody really does anything with the heads. So we kind of went through and kind of did what we thought was going to work, and full 5-axis CNC ported, moved the valves around. Like the heads have a ton of work in them, and by far the biggest cams in any M120 like in the world. I can guarantee it, because we had to clearance the hell out of them to make them fit.
Should rev up to around 9,000.
Yeah, about 9,000, 15% safety window, and then we're running on N5 methanol too, so it's gonna make the beans.
How does this actually compare to what Zonda did?
Yeah, so the early Zondas, Pagani put literally the same exact long block out of the S600 in them. And they slowly went from a 6-liter to a 7.3, and then with the Zonda R being the final version, they went back to a 6-liter. The Zonda R revs to like 8,500 RPM, makes around 800 horse, and we're looking to, without emissions and reliability factors and running it on M5, we're definitely looking to make it a Zonda killer for sure.
And then what's your estimated power that you can make from it?
This is the bench line. We actually have like 5 or 6 of these motors in the shop that we're building, and this is going to be a good test and see where we can go with it. I would estimate like 850 to 1,000. We're just no clue right now.
From an NA V12, that is so cool. Motor swaps obviously have been a big part of the SEMA show for so long, but over the years, it's just getting crazier and crazier. I mean, part of it is because the technology. I'm sure it's a lot easier for you guys to prototype and make all these parts. But like, you guys made all of this stuff right here, all the accessories, water, everything?
Yeah, basically eliminate all the water pump off the front. So made the billet water blocks to go to AN, you know, with the electric water pump on the radiator. Race alternator bracket, the dry sump system, the full dry sump bracket. And we have a full billet dry sump pan that saved a ton of room off the bottom for the rack.
The intake runners are casted.
Intake runners. We're running, they're Hayabusa throttle bodies, so they're modular, so we cast the intake runners. Basically everything, you know, the VVT delete plates, the motor plate, the cam sensor plug, the EGR plugs, basically anything we needed to complete the motor swap that wasn't available, we kind of designed and made, you know, even the coil brackets and all that fun stuff, so.
It's got to be so much heavier on the front end, right? But then you probably lost a lot of weight by kind of tubbing the front.
We kind of weighed roughly what the LS with like a 90 mil turbo on the front. The LS was an iron block, so it's pretty much the same weight of what this is being an aluminum block, even though it's a V12. So, and we do have a solid axle in the back, so we'll get it on the scales once it's all together and kind of weigh it out. But whatever it is, you know. And
then the headers, insane. So you guys created them, or you guys made them in-house?
Yeah, that's kind of a mock-up set of headers. We got all the EGT bungs because we're running the 12 EGT sensors to kind of dial it in with the throttle bodies. We've got a few different sets of headers. We're trying to get an engine dyno set up so we can run it and play around with the header design for see what kind of noise we can get out of it. But yeah, they're 6-to-1, 3D printed the collectors, which is cool. And we have them rifling too, so you split the firing order down the middle, and whatever cylinder's hitting, it rifles in the collector, so it hits, you know, like clockwise. So really tried to tune it.
So then what transmission are you planning on running?
So HGT, 6-speed, sequential.
Yeah, so this is pretty much a wild street car, but we're doing a lot more road racing. So like the car's already set up for it, suspension-wise, and it's kind of like, get it out, start doing some track days. I mean, obviously it's not going to be world time attack champion, but just exhibition vehicle and go out and have fun with. And
you're just doing it because you can. It's an exercise in kind of showcasing what you guys are able to do. And also, this is just cool. There's no other way to explain it. Yeah. With all of this time in terms of development, is this something that you guys are going to sell for other people to do?
We already have orders and boxes at the shop full of parts that we've developed. We just want to test them all out first before we start selling them.
Yeah, so we got a full catalog, and you know, we even have like the Haltech harness, the standalone harness, and you said the HGT transmission, we're actually using a bell housing off a CD009. So we developed the adapter plate to go to that since they already had the bell housing developed. Once we get, you know, everything done, we're going to have the parts available for like someone with the R129 to be able to manual swap their car for a CD009, and you know, just a bunch of options. So.
Yeah, and this could be used for pretty much any car that can fit the motor, right? That's the point. It's not. It doesn't have to be a FD by all means.
Yeah. We got a Z4, we got a 190 coming up. We got a bunch of, like I said, we got a few of these motors kind of in the works,
So all of this, we've talked for like 10 minutes just on the motor. I haven't even mentioned the fact that it's a wide body LTO kit designed by my friend Kyza. So what made you guys want to run this kit?
I mean, we had a Rocket Bunny kit on it before, which was killer, and then we started talking about bringing it back to SEMA and what can we change, and you know, we were going to change the intake manifold on the LS and change the aero, and it's like, yeah, but it's still going to be roughly the same car. So, you know, we started talking to Kyza about this, and once it became apparent that it was actually coming to production, it was, you know, there was nothing else I would run on it. I mean, just the lines of it. Once we got it on the ground, I could take a step back and look at it. It's just such an aggressive kit.
It looks so good. Tell me about this little character, this pistachio. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, no, let's try to do something fun with it, man. You know, thing's been on it for a long time, so we just figured we'd put it back on, let it live.
The way it sits right now, especially with this that battery terminal is outside, it looks like a drag car.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, especially with that wing and the tires, because like you said, there's some meaty tires on there. It's definitely like throw a chute on it and see what it's gonna do.
It's just so crazy. Tell me about the wheel and tire setup then.
So those were a collab between 1552 and Gooichi wheels in Australia. We work with Matt from 1552 for a while on some of our other cars, so they worked out great, and we wanted to keep them on there. So 1552 is not making them anymore, but Gooichi Designs in Australia is continuing them. And it's kind of funny because he's actually a Mercedes tuner, so they're kind of Mercedes inspired, like Pinto wheels.
That is super cool. 345s in the rear. This is probably similar to what you would actually run if you do take it to Time Attack, huh?
Yeah, this is what we're gonna run. So I got the Proxy RRs on them for sure.
Tell me about the brake setup.
Just Willwoods front and back. Nothing crazy, just, you know, kind of purpose built.
And then still stock glass up front.
Yeah. Yeah. Now we'll be going carbon doors and hatch and probably Lexan eventually.
Yeah, the roof's already carbon.
Yeah, the roof's carbon.
We've skinned the roof and added a carbon roof.
Oh, that's great. Did you guys build the cage in-house?
We did.
Very, very cool. Pretty clean dash setup.
Yeah, a little modified bubble tech dash. We did the whole center console and wanted to keep it, you know, instead of doing a keypad, pretty analog, get the feel back in the car. But pretty purpose built, man. We're on Haltech, obviously the IC7 dash and the Nexus. I have a full mil-spec harness for it that Smart EFI did for us.
The Garmin Catalyst in the center is actually a track computer that'll show you full navigation of the track, guide you around the track, tell you where you can brake, if you can brake at a different braking point.
Yeah, so we got that all set up.
That is super cool.
It'll record you on the track and give you like a layout and data.
Pretty much all front center there. A little HTT, you got a cool full color display for the gear indicator and transmission temps and everything.
I love where you guys mounted the fluids.
Yeah.
What a clean build. I can't wait to see this thing run. This is gonna be incredible.
So obviously we gotta throw some wiring back in it when we get back, but yeah, not much to it. Fuel cell and battery.
Braille battery.
Yeah, running Braille lithium-ion battery in it.
This has got to weigh nothing.
I think it's like 3 pounds or something. That's what they run in all the Le Mans cars and prototype cars.
So cool. So what fuel are you actually going to try to run with this?
It's going to be M5. The M5 methanol, maybe a little nitro. So Adam from Smart EFI that does the wiring for us, he's our tuner too, and he's a big methanol guy. And it's like, if we're doing it, let's just do it, you know? So we'll have flex fuel. We'll be able to go back to E85, but at least testing it and seeing what it's going to do.
And what do you guys think timeline-wise for you to actually run this thing?
Between like 2 to 3 months, we want to get it running and going.
Yeah, I mean, we have pretty much everything for it. We still got to sort out some plumbing with it, but you know, we got the car back like a lot of other people, like 4 days before SEMA from the body shop. So it was just all-nighters and mad dash to get it together. So once we get it back, it's kind of like, just kind of bust it out, get it together the rest of the way, and get it running.
Yep. Yeah, we got another customer car to finish when we get back. Once that's done, it's full send on this one.
Yeah.
And after this, start building our next SEMA car.
So crazy. So what are you guys going to do for the hood?
We already have a hood. Unfortunately, we never got it back in time from the painter. But stock hood, cut out, fits the ITBs. It clears the front.
Yeah, it clears the motor, so clears the valve covers. Kind of worried about that, but yeah, fully shut it. Just have the ITB sticking straight through the top, and call it good.
And what are you guys going to do suspension-wise?
So right now we're running the Circuit Master Pros from Chen. I think we're switching to some KW variant 3s here pretty soon. Get it a little bit dialed in more, but we got to get it together and then get it on scales and kind of see where we're going to be at to really get it set up.
Are you guys going to do like electric steering?
Yeah, we're going to get one of the electric pumps out of a Volvo. Probably throw it in the back of the car and plumb it. Yeah. Pretty simple.
Interesting. Yeah, because it would be pretty hard to probably get it off of the front of the engine, right? Or like
it just looks a lot cleaner without it as well.
Yeah, keep it easy.
And also probably saves some room, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was surprised. I mean, once we got the dry sump pulley and all that stuff in the front, like we ended up with a lot of room. I mean, besides some coolant lines, we're pretty freaking clear on the front end. Yeah.
That is super cool. incredible. It just sits perfect. It looks so good.
Yeah, we're super proud, super happy. The response has been crazy this week, for sure.
Yeah. In terms of live to offend, you definitely offended a lot of people.
I think so.
Hope so.
Yeah,
That was the intention.
yeah, for sure.
This is going to be cool. So are you going to try to go to like Super Lap Battle or any of those big time attack events?
Yeah, we'll see, man.
We'll try to get out as much as possible
Yeah.
once this car is ready.
Yeah, it's just the mad dash to get it running and just hear it, because I think that's kind of what everybody wants to do is hear it. Now it's like we're in the same boat. It's like we just can't wait with the HGT whine and the motor. Yeah, it's just get it running, get it out, start doing some track days, and then we're in South Florida, so it'll be fun to get to Super Lab Battle. But we got Atlanta. I mean,
Yeah.
we're close enough. So
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Awesome. Thank you guys. See you guys in the next episode.